Beautiful dogs, fiercely looking, some cutely looking, but apparently all those dogs were speed dogs. They used to run very, very fast. Trained, of course, to gain time and momentum. In a short pace, they could have gained strong mileage. In that lane and competition, there was another cheetah. You must have heard me say a story about the cheetah. But this time around, this cheetah was on lane. All the other dogs were railed on their lanes. They were about to take off. This was an experiment to find out if these fast dogs in their numbers were going to outrun the cheetah. On your mark, get ready. The dogs were supposed to move. And the cheetah, that was supposed to be the comparison. But do you know what really happened? The cheetah just stood there. The dogs are taking flight like a tornado. They were moving so fiercely and speedily and hastily. The cheetah remained unperturbed and stayed there. And all the people who were onlookers were waiting. They said, yes, I know this cheetah. When the dogs are about to get to the winning lane, the cheetah will take up and it will show them he's stronger than them. I know that if that happens, you already know what is going to happen. Few seconds to the finish lane, the cheetah kept waiting. I was thinking that as the 3 Hebrew men were not delivered from the fire, that God came to deliver them in the fire. That maybe it's on the finish lane, the cheetah would just take one step and overtake them. Fortunately, for those that were waiting for the dogs to win, and unfortunately, for those that were expecting the cheetah to take up with speed and outrun them, the dogs exhausted their journey, got to the finish line, the cheetah remained unmoved. People were surprised. Even those that were expecting the dogs to win, they were still filled with heavy surprises. Of course, the dogs won. But the cheetah did not even make a move or take an inch. Now, when the man that could communicate with animals got to the cheetah and asked, why didn't you move? Why didn't you show them who you really are? Why didn't you dust them in this running game? The cheetah said, in life, there are some things that you don't bother to prove the point. There was no point to prove. If I ran, I would have overtaken them. I know you have your reservations. But yes, I want to use this lesson to encourage some of you. There are some things you don't need to prove. There are some points you don't need to express. There are some places you don't need to put yourself. It saw its class different from that. It did not need to prove that point. If it was among cheetahs or amongst other very, very speed animals, it would have been prepared to make that mark. It would have been more prepared to express its strength in its speed. There are many of you that have been faced with issues where your ego would have been needed to be loud. Some of you always have explanations, excuses to make, always want to be extremely self-opinionated. I am telling you that there are some times that just like Jesus Christ, when he was at the place of the slaughter, he did not argue. He did not prove any point. Are you the king of the Jews? Are you the king of the world? He did not need to shout. He did not need to speak. Results speaks from themselves. And well, you may say that there was no result for the cheetah since he did not make any move at all. You are actually right. But there are some places silence is the best answer where there are many voices of oppositions. I want to encourage you that it's not all battles that are your battles. It is not all journeys that are your journeys. Not all lanes are your lanes. Not all explanations needed to be made. I want you to learn from this wise cheetah. Don't soil your clothes. Don't get yourself in the mud. Don't cast your class into another place just because you want to prove a point. There are some journeys that you must just excommunicate yourself from. In life, many things will prove your time or your patience. Many things will want to prove your worth. You know who you really are. You may not need to explain everything. I encourage you today. You are a person that is specially crafted and molded. Nobody needs to find out if you are very good sexually, even if you are a virgin and you're not married. And you say you want to prove a point that I am fertile and I can get pregnant. You don't need to be on that lane. That is a dirty lane. It's not for you. Nobody needs to know what will happen to you if you take a very strong alcoholic drink and you say that my body system is very strong. There are some things you don't need to argue. There are some points you don't need to prove. I want to encourage you. I can go on and on and on with examples. On the comment section, I want you to tell me the things that you don't need to prove. And let's see, maybe we can agree or disagree. Probably disagree to agree or agree to disagree. It's a very productive day. I wish you, my brethren. God has indeed blessed you. I remain God's battle axe, Femi David.